It finally happened, everybody. The NBA trade deadline has finally given us something. Jaren Jackson Jr. has officially been traded from the Grizzlies to the Utah Jazz. The full trade is the Jazz getting Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchar, Jock Landale, Vince Williams Jr., and the Grizzlies are getting Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and 3 future firsts. The key thing here, realistically, is 3 future firsts. The other guys, they're okay rotational players with maybe some upside, but the Grizzlies, really, they want those firsts. And in the Jazz's case, the other 3 guys don't matter much. It's Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do the Memphis Grizzlies really want to blow it up? Well, yeah, why not? They're not making the playoffs. John Morant's situation is getting ugly. Desmond Bane, they already sold for 5 firsts, and the rest of the team is just Jaren Jackson Jr. and some role players. So they're getting ahead of the curve and saying, you know what? We know we're not going to get a haul for John Morant, but what we can do is get a haul for Jaren Jackson Jr. So they said, you know what? 3 first-round picks, let's do it. Here's the thing, though. I am interested to see what they do with these picks because the picks aren't high-quality picks, if we're being honest here. One of the picks is the most favorable 2027 pick between the Cavaliers, the Timberwolves, and the Jazz. That looks nice, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a top 5 pick by any means of the word, because the Cavaliers and Timberwolves are both good, and so at that point you're left with whatever the Jazz pick will likely be. Likely it's going to be the best pick wherever the Jazz end up next year. But if the Jazz are good, this pick isn't as nice as it seems. Then you have the Lakers 2027 first, which, Luka alone will get you into a decent playoff spot. So that's not going to be that good. And then the Phoenix 2031 first round pick is kind of all over the place, but you would assume that they kind of rebuild around Devin Booker up until that point, unless Devin Booker leaves, at which point that might be the pick that really is good. So ultimately, the Grizzlies get off of JJJ. Now here's the thing that I really like. They generated one of the biggest trade exceptions, and by one of, I mean the biggest big trade exception of all time. This allows them to take on enough cap from any player they're trading to without matching, basically meaning they can get another first-round pick if they want to absorb a bad contract. So you can really effectively look at this as 4 first-round picks if you'd like to. That's pretty good for Jaren Jackson Jr. Trae Young just went for 0 firsts, so who knows what the market is at this point. Now, the real bizarre thing at first glance is on the Jazz's side. Normally teams that are near the bottom of the league in the conversation for first overall pick, who generally are looking at sub-20 wins, the Jazz have 15 wins and on a 6-game losing streak. Do those guys typically spend 3 first-round picks to buy all-star caliber players and win now? No, never. That's what's crazy. But the thing is, the firsts aren't that valuable. And they've been perpetually bad for so many seasons now since getting rid of Donovan Mitchell that I think they look at it and go, okay, Keontae George, he looks like to be the guy for our future. And that's the key thing. They see how good Keontae George is. They see what they have with Lauri Markkanen still. They see the big in Walker Kessler, which usually fits with a Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. is not a protect the rim, I'm blocking shots in the paint, post me up center. He is a let me roam on the bad shooter and help you that way kind of defender. So you put all that, and you put that in a team, and the Jazz look at it and go, Jaren Jackson Jr. is under contract for like 4 more years at least. We know that we can build a team within 4 years, so why not just get it now? Because realistically speaking, the Utah Jazz cannot sign someone in free agency. No one's going to Utah. It's like the Raptors. No one's going to Toronto. You have to be able to get these guys via trades. That's how they built the last team. Donovan Mitchell, trade. Bogdanovich, trade. I think Rudy might have been a trade. It's just, that's how these small market teams can make these big splashes. And they see that we don't know if we're going to get someone better than Jaren Jackson Jr., so let's go for it. Ultimately, who won the trade? I think it is very much to be seen just because of how valuable those picks are. But at first round value, to be honest, at face value, I like it. I honestly don't mind it for either side. I think if the team can't be built well around Jaren Jackson Jr., Keontae George, and fill out the spots, you might look at that and go, okay, it was kind of like a nothing move. But at the end of the day, they still have quite a few firsts left. And on the Grizzlies side, they're hoarding. They have the same amount of first-round picks as Brooklyn, I believe, and it's among the most in the league. So they're going to have a pretty strong rebuild. They have that trade exception to get even more first if they want to. It's sad to see that the John Morant era is looking to be ending because I'll tell you what, John Morant will not be a Grizzly for very long. I don't know if it'll be at this trade deadline or at the end of the year, but do not expect them. And with all these picks, the Grizzlies can afford to just give them for cheap and get them off the team. It's unfortunate. If in 2022 or 2023 you told me that Ja Morant would be like the one with the least value on the team, I would have laughed. Look at the NBA. I mean, really, it's hard to say. And then we have the other big trade of the day, the Bulls. They finally got rid of Vucevic, who was just pretty much rotting in Chicago, and that whole team is just, it is a definition of just a pile of mid. And I don't think any Bulls fan wants them to be mid. It's only the GM and mainly the owners. I don't understand what the Bulls do, but that's neither here nor there. The main thing is they went and they got Anthony Simons and a second-round pick. Realistically speaking, is Anthony Simons game-changing for the Bulls? No. But they got a younger asset and a second, which is fine, for getting rid of an older asset in Nikola Vucevic. So from the Bulls side, nice. You pretty much just got younger. You got some value there. Maybe you can do something with Simons, let him rock out, build up his value. Not too bad. Finally got off of the money of Vucevic. Love that for them. And then the big thing, the Boston Celtics have their center. You know, Neemias Queta, Luka Garza, they were serviceable and honestly impressively serviceable, allowing the Celtics to be like a top 3 seed. But he's not, neither of those players were going to be the centers for the future. Vucevic, he can be that guy for the next couple of years. And then, this is scary because he gives the shooting and rebounding that you wanted. He kind of plays an Al Horford role, maybe not quite as good defensively, but with a Joe Mazzulla system, I think they can utilize him very well. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, you know, they've got this team to the second seed. Vucevic only helps for this season. And then, I know he said he might not come back, but Jason Tatum is yet to play. Regardless of what caliber of Tatum we find, even if it's 70% Tatum after the injury, if it was 100% Tatum coming back from his injury and it was a minor injury that wasn't like, you know, that much long-term damage to him, this would be scary for the league. But the fact that, you know, Tatum might come back and only be 80% of his former shell, at the end of the day, 80% Jason Tatum is better than 95% of the league. And so if they can get Tatum back next year, or even if he does come back this year, which is looking unlikely at this point, this is scary, man. They have their guard in Derek White. They have their bench piece in Peyton Pritchard. They have Jaylen Brown. They have Jason Tatum. You have Nikola Vucevic, and you fill out the bench as you see fit. And man, I love it. I love it. And I really do think that the Celtics, this is the kind of move that we all saw they would make by getting rid of Porzingis and Holiday. You knew they weren't going to be around for long. They got off of him quickly, and they said, you know what? We got our center back. We're going to get Tatum back. Once the team is back, we'll see what we need. We will trade for more later, and bang, the Celtics will be back soon very quickly. So I'm glad we finally saw something at the trade deadline. What I like and I want to see is that there's still more to come. We saw the Timberwolves make that trade to basically get rid of salary so that they can go and potentially get Giannis or Harden. You know, these two players, Harden and Giannis, they're on the market still, and we as NBA fans finally are going to be eating as far as entertainment value goes. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this deadline and these trades. Thanks for watching.